I would like to introduce you to Mr. Max Bartram, my 6th grade teacher. And here we were just a few days ago, standing in a circle being introduced, and I knew that smile, I heard that deep voice, and instantly it's like, I am back in Montclair Elementary. And who knew that here in Iowa, years later, we would see each other.
That was a really one of the highlights of my trip also, to be able to see one of my former students being so successful because he was such a good student at Montclair Elementary in East Denver.
You must have gotten to me right when my academic career peaked, at that point. So.
Really?
Once again, you're teaching me things, and you've started to teach me a lot about the Winnebago Itasca Travelers, WIT, of which you've been involved for a long time here.
20
right?
years. We've been involved in it for 20 years, and it's really a wonderful experience for us. We did a lot of traveling along with that, with the caravans. We've been to Alaska, we've been to Newfoundland. We actually went on a trip that was sponsored by Winnebago through the Panama Canal, and we've been around the Chesapeake Bay. We've been to Ensenada, Mexico. So we've done a lot of the rallies along with the caravans. We're made to feel very welcome in Forest City. I mean, the local citizenry are just wonderful people to deal with. It's small town USA, and we grew up in a small town, so it really makes us feel like we're coming back home, every year, and it's a highlight for us.
Well, apparently so, because this today for lunch, you had us at Sally's. They had set the table up especially for us, and it was like, it was really just almost like walking into someone's home, because you're pretty well known here at this point.
And she's very well known for her luncheon, for her breakfast and her luncheon.
And she's willing to make you gooseberry pie. Right?
Absolutely, upon request. And she gets the wild gooseberries from Pilot Knob out here.
Oh, really?
Which is the second highest point in Iowa.
When you're back in Colorado, there is a local chapter, and Winnebago has a lot of local WIT chapters. So, what have you guys been doing over the last years as a WIT club?
It's a year-round program. We camp from April through October, and then they have an example out of hibernation breakfast before we start to camp. We have a Christmas get-together at Mount Vernon Country Club, and we do social kinds of things. The club is going to go to the Albuquerque Balloon Festival come up, and
that'll be fun.
We really think that the WIT Club is an important part. The loyalty of the membership to the brand, and the fact that when you come back to the Grand National, they have the vendors here, and it makes it very very educational, as well as it's good to bring your motorhome back into shape if there's a problem with it.
I felt I talked to some people who have attended other styles of rallies, and they told me that they just felt that the Winnebago rally, they were just shocked by people would just stop them and say, "Hi, how are you? Are you having a good time?" And we've felt that that same kind of thing, and I think that sort of really gets back to the product that we all are sharing and driving.
Right, and I think that's the loyalty to the brand that has been created by the club, and I think that is a big part of what made us buy the second Winnebago. We would have looked at other brands, but we already were involved in a WIT Club, and we couldn't be involved in that WIT Club if we didn't have Winnebago. So,
well, and so I think it's it's sort of combining two things: really, sort of the quality of the manufacturer and the quality of the experience that really does set this apart. It's not easy to see that and understand that when you're just reading a magazine or in a dealer's showroom.
Right.
Yeah.
For example, we had a couple that came with our Colorado Columbines. They were down in the campground, and they said, "Oh, it looks like you've got water coming out from under your home." It's probably 6 or 8 years old. So they came up here and took it into the factory, or to the customer service. They not only had available the tanks if they had wanted or would have needed to, they have the molds there to make the new tanks, but they have 2 tanks in stock, and they put them in, and with within 2 days they had their water tank problem. And that's really a big part of what makes Winnebago so good, is because they do so much of their own manufacturing as contrasted with just assembly.
You're still teaching. You know, you can't stop, and you shouldn't. So
Anyway,
well, thank you very, very much. We really enjoyed it. So
that's great, and it's so nice to see one of my students that has been so successful and has such a wonderful wife.
Thank you. We will give some credit to Terry.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. Okay.